What's going on, guys? My name is David, and today I'm reviewing the S4 Hayabusa boxing gloves. So I have them in this white and black color. They have many different options. All of them look great. One reason I like them is because the patterning is so nice, and it's not just a solid color you see on a lot of other boxing gloves. And a little bit about me, I started boxing 2 years ago, and at the time I didn't know much about boxing gloves and what the different qualities were between different gloves. I knew that there were some higher end gloves like the Cleto Reyes gloves or the Phenom gloves, but I needed something that would fit my budget and was durable enough to last for a couple of years because I knew I was in boxing for the long run. So when I was first shopping for boxing gloves, I ordered 4 or 5 different pairs from Amazon with the intention of trying them on, looking at the qualities that they have to offer, and then sending back the ones that I didn't like, Amazon returns. And I tried gloves out such as the RDX gloves and the different Hayabusa gloves. Hayabusa has a very strong presence on Amazon. They have different options. The T3, which is $160. I ordered that one, tried it out also. Also the H5, which is $90, or it was $90, now it's $100. And these S4 Hayabusa boxing gloves, which go for $60. And about these, I noticed immediately that they have much better quality than the cheaper options like the RDX that I ordered, because it's just more stiff throughout the glove, and especially up top where the padding is, you could tell that it's a lot more rigid than the ones that go for like 20 or 30 bucks. So as I mentioned, the RDX gloves just seemed a little too flimsy to keep for myself for the next several years of boxing. So I was down to deciding between the 3 versions of the Hayabusa gloves, the S4, the T3, and the H5. So the T3 boxing glove, it was a little higher quality than this one. This one is high quality, but that one was even more stiff. It had better support throughout the glove, and the material was a little different. Like over here, you can see it's mesh. On the T3, it was a bit more sleek material. I'm not sure what it was exactly, but it was more similar to like a plastic feel rather than a mesh fabric feel like this. And that gave it a higher quality feeling. But to me at the time, the $160, I couldn't really justify that just getting into boxing. So I settled with these. And about the H5 boxing gloves, which were $90, they just seemed honestly like a more expensive version of these. They seemed pretty similar in a lot of different ways, design, material, and so on. So I just picked these. And the great thing about Hayabusa gloves, this goes for all 3 versions that I just mentioned, the H5, S4, and T3. They have this piece of fabric here that a lot of other boxing gloves don't have. And what this is for is when you're boxing and you're sweating. I'm someone that sweats a lot more than other people. I always have sweat dripping into my eyes, and this causes burning, and I always have to wipe it somehow. And if you're wearing these, you can wipe them as you're boxing with the boxing glove. So let me just put it on. If you start sweating and you need to wipe it out of your eye, you can just do this. And it works pretty good because the fabric absorbs that sweat. One bad thing maybe is that if you keep wiping your sweat over multiple years, it's gonna build up in here and start smelling. And I will say this part, the fabric part, does smell the worst out of any other part of the glove. But overall, if you guys use a deodorizer like this, I have the Meister one. It smells really good. It's lasted me for about 3/4 of a year on average. If you keep putting that in the gloves after training sessions, it takes out pretty much all the moisture within a 24-hour period. And it also adds its own scent, which makes the glove smell pretty good. So I have the cologne scent. It's really nice. There's also the cedar smell. I used that before. I can also recommend that too. And also, besides the deodorizer, it's crucial to wear boxing wraps. So when I started, I thought because my wrist was pretty strong, I didn't need the wrap for the extra support. But it turns out if you don't wear a wrap, then all the sweat from your hand drenches directly into the glove and it makes the glove smell really bad. And it got to the point where I was working with people and they would actually mention to me, like, they would tell me that my gloves smell really bad. This is what led me to get the wraps and start using them, because the wraps, they absorb all the sweats, and once it starts smelling too bad, you can wash the wrap, throw that in the washer. You can't do that with the gloves though. I've linked the pair of wraps that I use. These are cheap options. Wraps are basically just cloth. It doesn't really matter which ones you get, but these ones are pretty cheap and they work well. So in conclusion, I would definitely recommend the S4 boxing gloves. I wouldn't make the extra $30 investment to the H5 because they're pretty much the same. If you have a little bit more money to spend, I would definitely also recommend the T3 boxing gloves because they are clearly higher quality. Just holding them in your hand, they are much more stiff, and the fabric and material feels more durable and higher quality overall.